For now, opening up the card, we have Chris Barnett taking on Chase Sherman. This had some interesting line movement, and if you see the line movement tracker for premium members, you'll see it completely, I don't want to say flipped, but it took off. Chris Barnett doesn't look like it, but he's a very athletic and very dynamic guy. He's got some real power, and he's going to manage to land strikes, even though he almost always has the reach disadvantage in his matchups. He hasn't really taken his career too seriously in the past, but since joining the UFC, he seems to have stepped things up. When he's in that cage, if he's having fun and he's done the right things in camp, he's exciting and he's getting quality wins. The issue is that, again, he hasn't taken his career too seriously, and he does struggle a little bit in fights where there's pressure. He's coming off that win over Jake Collier where he was dropped, he was bruised, he was battered and beaten, but he still managed to win a scramble, end up on top, and then get that TKO win. He's taking on Chase Sherman. Chase is a good boxer with solid foot movement, solid speed. He's got volume, and he doesn't stop throwing hands until the last bell, literally no matter what. Outside of that fight with Alexander Romanov, Chase got solid takedown defense. He's a high-volume guy landing more than 6 significant strikes per minute, but he has absolutely zero head movement. His head will just bang like a lollipop. It does not move at all, and that is why he has a negative striking differential. He's coming off that loss to Waldo Cortez where he had his first ever takedown in the UFC, and this line steamed. I mentioned it. The line movement tracker, you can see the opening odds for every single fighter, the current odds when you're looking at it for every single fighter, and then you can see the implied probability based on the current odds, and then you can see the line movement. You're going to see that Chase Sherman opened at a minus 155 favorite, and right now, as I'm sitting here, he's a minus 275 favorite. So the line took off in his favor a little bit. I know a lot of people in our Discord, which is free, go ahead and join it, in our Discord feel like Chris should be the favorite. And I disagree, though. I think that this line is honestly probably correct. Minus 275 is really wide for a guy that has been on the struggle bus lately, and Chase is not the more dangerous of the two fighters, but he's tough, he's tested, and he does not quit. Chris shows up overweight, out of shape. He relies solely on his athleticism, and I don't think cartwheel kicks are going to get Chris through this fight. I think Chase is the pick. He's got the chin. He's got the relentless pressure with the striking. Absolutely no bet whatsoever. Betting on this fight would be ridiculously foolish, but I do think Chase Sherman is just going to walk down Chris Barnett, and he's going to spin, he's going to flip, he's going to do all the things, but ultimately be bruised, battered, and not win this fight. So Chase Sherman is the pick. This line is absurd for a couple of heavyweights that have had mediocre UFC careers so far.